What up, people? My name is Lewis Lee from All Ins Magazine, and this is Playing in Traffic. And we do this every week. So tell all your friends that we kick it live every week with Lou Santiago. He will be here tonight. He is traveling from filming Carfix. So we'll get with him next week. But I'm going to invite a couple people on screen now, and we will start the show. Get my man Tori.
Hey, Louis.
Hey, Tori. What's going on?
What's going on? Not same old, same old. Running around. Lisa had to go to the doctor today, but it was okay. Thank God.
Good.
Dad's still in the hospital. He should be out by the end of the week. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see what happens.
Yeah, tell him I said quit playing around and get out of there.
I've been telling him every day. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll tell him again.
He's in our prayers.
He apparently listened the first time, you know?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, who else we got in the chat room? Yeah, Lou's on the road. He's making his way up the hill, so he won't be on tonight.
Yeah, I spoke to him a little while ago. Yeah, he's going to stop at have a little dinner and drive into the night. So I'll give him a buzz later on. I'll keep him awake through a couple of states so he gets a little bit closer to home.
Sounds good. Hey, if everybody in the chat room, I put up a link for Stacey David's gears. If you get a chance, man, go check it out, dude. He's putting in some work. He's doing some great stuff over there on YouTube. And let's see. We got Papa Squirrel in the chat room. Papa Squirrel, you want to come on screen? I'm sending it to him anyway.
Sure. Speaking of Stacey David, he's doing this this cab over, and he's got a color on that thing, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Razzleberry Exalter, it's called. What a gorgeous color.
Yeah, I have to go check it out, man. That's where I got my color for my motorcycle, that copperhead.
That's
when you put that together, I was like, oh man, I got to do something with that color. And so that's why I painted the bike that color. Yep.
I think he said it was a House of Colors color on the show. It's some job. Beautiful. I can't wait to see it done.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. He does great work. Yeah.
Yeah, his show's on every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning on Motor Trend.
Okay. So I don't have cable, so I miss all that stuff unless I go on the bootleg and check it out.
Next time I visit, I'll just run a cable line about, I don't know, 500 miles and use my cable. It's okay. Yeah. I pay enough for it. Be glad to share. It used to
be the olden days. You connect cable to your boy's house next door.
Well, you can't do that no more.
The digital. They ruined it.
They sure did.
What's up, Papa Squirrel?
Hey, Papa Squirrel.
Can you hear us? I don't think you hear us.
How you doing, Papa Squirrel?
No, can't hear you, bud.
Can't hear him. I don't think he can hear us either.
We get Ray on.
All right, sounds good. So when are you leaving for Toronto?
I'm going to leave tomorrow around 3 o'clock.
Very good.
Yep.
Hello,
hey, Ray.
fellas.
Hey, Ray.
How's everything? I'm cold.
How are you?
Freaking cold, man.
Yeah.
It is too, man. It's
22 today.
Off. Ugh.
We're at 16 here in Ohio.
We're in the 20s over here. I was up in Connecticut today. I got to go to Ground Up Restorations up in Connecticut, and yeah, it was in the low 20s. But got some damn good pizza, I'll tell you that.
What
was it?
Yeah, what'd you pick up?
We picked up
a
cowl induction hood and air cleaner setup for the 71 Chevelle I'm working on, as well as a bunch of little small stuff. My buddy Mike decided that it was easier. He said, hey, let's take a road. He knows I'm up for a road trip all the time. He goes, why don't we take a drive up there? Instead of shipping it, just bring it back with his truck. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. So Give me a reason to take a day off of work.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, right.
And they got some nice stuff, man. Just the cars in there in the showroom in the front. My favorite, they had a beautiful 71 split bumper Camaro RSSS big block, a 69 Yenko clone 427 Camaro, a 68 Chevelle convertible big block original Survivor, and a 77 Z28 that they resto modded with an LS and 335 what are they 18s on the rear, the biggest tires I ever saw. Whole rear section was done, a ton of work done in that car. So they got a ton of nice stuff up there. Very nice.
Nice. 335 is a big tire.
Yeah, this was lowered, big bear brakes all the way around. They did there was articles that they had done on it. The car is, it's like perfect for a road course. The thing looks like it's ready to assault, any kind of like Laguna Seca or something. Very cool.
You know what? Speaking of road course, you know which car is really cool for that though?
Uh-huh.
There's a woman named Jerry Kerner. What a sweetheart of a lady. She owns this Nova. Okay. It's a Chevy 2. It's called the Runt. R-U-N-T. And you're not going to believe it. It's two-tone. It's like a dark brown and maroon. And you think, oh, dark brown, maroon. That doesn't go. Let me tell you something. It's servos. And the builder of the car, he was on the road course. He was whipping around over in Good Guys. And let me tell you, the guy who built the car was having a blast with it. The car handled. Yeah. It was like a little slot car. And this car, he just ran this thing easily.
No, I can believe it. That's nice.
Gorgeous
beautiful
car.
Stuff. But yeah, good company.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm pull up on the screen. Wait a minute. The car show.
So we went to Pepe's. The hell's the name of it? It's a historic pizzeria in the Little Italy section of Connecticut over there. It's in Frank Pepe. Yeah, the original Frank Pepe Pizzeria Napolitana opened in 1925. This was in Norwalk. It's unbelievable, man. Off the show. We bought 3 pies. There were 3 of us. We bought 3 large pies, and we each ate a little. And then the 2 of us, we split the spoils. And we brought it home for the families. So
nice.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, that's the Motorama.
Yeah, I have up on the screen the Motorama in Toronto. This is where me and Lou will be this weekend.
Nice.
So if anybody in Toronto wants to hang out with us, come check us out at the show. It's 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Nice.
And Bogey will be there also with us.
Mm-hmm.
There she is.
I see she was on Garage Squad this past week. No,
yeah, she's gonna. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the episode because I watched something else. That's one of the ones I'll catch up on. But I saw she was part of the. I don't know in what regard. I don't know in what capacity, but.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it either.
Yeah,
I'll go check it out though. But yeah, I'll be. Yeah, it was today.
It was today, right?
It was on.
Yeah,
it was on last night.
An hour ago.
It was on Discovery last night. Yeah.
It was. Okay. I was out last night too. Yeah, I'll check it out though.
Yeah, but this event up in Canada is really nice, man. They got a nice event that they pull every year. So yeah, don't let the cold stop you, man. If you can get out, come check us out. We'll be up there.
It looks like they're
we'll be at the Lincoln. Go ahead.
I said, it looks like they're doing an early spring kickoff with that show.
Yeah, it's a nice show. John Day, he'll be there running around with us.
Excellent.
Yeah, really nice show, man.
Nice.
I mean, it's nice cars too. They got some stuff. They don't have Ohio cars, but they're getting there.
If John Day is there, it's got to be slick.
Yep.
Oh yeah. If Dad was in the hospital, I would have been there. But you know what? Next year, look. I mean, it's okay. You got to take care of family first, and it's always next year, and there's always summer and stuff. I'm sure there'll be trips for the summer and stuff. I don't know which shows I'm going to go to, but
yeah, SEMA is going to be
we'll figure it out.
Show. We'll get Ray. You coming out with us?
Oh,
who knows? I got to see what goes on for the year. See what the planning lays out for me. And I'd like to. That'd be a blast.
Oh, we have a good time.
What do you got?
Ray, I got an idea.
All right, nobody will hear. Yeah, don't worry.
We'll keep this between us, okay? No, nobody, you know. You tell your wife I got you drunk.
Yeah.
You tell my wife you got me drunk.
You ended up in Vegas.
Hey,
Oh,
it happened.
how'd that happen? It's
I don't
plausible.
know. We were headed west to get some pizza, and next thing I knew, we were in Vegas. Yeah, right.
There were cactuses.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only 40
Palm
hours.
trees, you know?
Yeah, right.
40-hour drive.
Jeez.
Yeah. No big deal.
I did that drive, man, from Long Island from Unique. That was a rough trip, boy.
You know, since you mentioned that, up at Ground Up today, they had a couple of cars featured. They had posters, and a couple of them were from Unique. They were restored at Unique.
Yeah.
Chevelles. Beautiful. Nice jobs.
Yeah.
Very nice. But,
Yeah, they do good work.
I got to tell you guys something that happened this week that was really kicking my ass. I've been working on a Chevelle, and I was wiring in an ignition relay. So I was doing some preliminary pin-to-pin testings on the harness. I wanted to make sure I knew which wires were which. I was doing continuity tests and whatnot, and I was getting weird results, and I couldn't figure it out. And it's by today's standards, a relatively simple system. I found out after I looked in the service, I looked at one picture and I said, wait a minute, something's wrong. It's the guy, whoever put the car together after it was blasted, he had put the fuse box and the internal harness in upside down. The fuse box. Where I looked at the picture, I saw the flasher was on the upper left, and in this car it was in the lower right. I'm like, wait a minute. And of course, you can put it in either position. They put the fuse box in upside down. So no wonder I was getting weird, wacky results. Like, I spent hours banging my head and looking at schematics and trying to figure out what's wrong. And I guess it goes to show, always check the obvious,
Yeah, you overlook it.
Yeah. I'll tell you something funny. We picked up a 57 Buick Caballero in Brooklyn, of all places. The car was off the road since the 70s, and I went to go check it out for a friend of mine who's over in Arizona. He said, check the car out. So it's in Brooklyn on a city street. It was garbage day. There was all garbage on the passenger side of the car. You could barely see it. But you can see it was a really nice car. It was patinaed, not a lot of rust, no rut whatsoever. And the car wouldn't run. Guess what the problem was with this car? You're not going to guess.
It could be anything. What's the punchline?
It was so simple, but really something you wouldn't expect. He had a red battery cable and a black battery cable. So the red's supposed to be hot, the black's supposed to be ground, right?
Yeah.
Not in this car.
It's funny because like the Chevelle has two black battery cables, but the Pontiac in the shop actually has a is it a black positive or a red negative? I forget which one it is, but it's a weird cable. It's backwards. It's the wrong color. So you got to really pay attention to look at the marking on the battery, because the cable doesn't care what color it is. Yeah, man.
Right.
Oh, exactly. Boys. Hey, John, how are you?
Is my microphone working?
Yeah.
Good. Yes, sir.
You're good.
Getting better.
How you feeling?
Went to therapy today.
Good.
They just beat the hell out of you over there.
Is it me, or is your face looking a little thinner?
I lost 27 pounds since the operation.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice.
Gotta keep going.
Vince sent you that. Vince texted you that picture this morning.
Yes.
He sends it to me. It's of an egg sandwich. Let me see what the hell. And I said, "Did you send that to John?" He's like, "No." I said, "Well, send it to John, damn it."
Yeah, he sent it to me, and then he called me later in the afternoon. We were talking about it, and I told him how it's been like 2 years since I've had that.
I don't see it. It looks like
crap. It looks crap on that. Yeah.
It's a picture of a bacon, egg, and cheese opened up. Says breakfast in New York. Says the rest of the country has yet to understand the power. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
It's an awesome sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah, Mike Musto, right, in California. They don't know what a breakfast sandwich is.
They have no clue.
Now, last time I checked, California is one of the states in the union.
Well,
How they not
Eat a
know
lot
what
of
breakfast
avocados
sandwich
and
is. This is
stuff
America,
out there,
right?
you know?
Yeah, they're into burritos, things like that.
Yeah, fruits and nuts.
It's not the
you know.
same.
No.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? I know.
So bad, but so true.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
I couldn't even keep a straight face on that one. That was good.
Shit.
Well,
Oh,
Ray,
God.
tell us about your,
Well,
your
yeah,
show
the
this
show
past
last
week.
weekend we had Terry Coverman 66. Terry Wilson was on. He came into the studio. He wanted to come down from up where he's at. He's not too far away from us, and he took
that's
the drive
cool.
down. Yeah, took the drive down and spent some time in the studio. I tell you something, man. His energy. You think it's high when you see him on the show. It's like it's actually even a little more amplified when you see him in person. He's just a great dude, man.
Oh yeah,
You
should have seen him at
I could
SEMA.
imagine.
He was all
It
over the place.
Great having him around. He's a great guy. And, I learned about a great.
Yeah, he's a good.
I
dude.
learned about a great brake
I'm looking
conversion from him. That's for the A bodies. You can use it's a '98 to 2002 Camaro caliper and rotor, which is fantastic.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, neither did I. He did a video on it, and then we talked about it in the
Yeah.
studio a bit. So, yeah, cool.
He's really smart, man.
Yeah,
He
he's a
knows
good
his stuff.
guy.
And that's the
He's
thing.
good. Yeah.
When you find stuff like that,
That's a good
you
conversion.
pass it on. You pass it on and let other people know about it.
I use the same conversion
Okay.
on my 92 Camaro. So
Right,
fourth
what?
gen brakes on a third
Okay.
gen Camaro,
Sure.
it just made sense.
Yeah,
It was perfect, So got rid of the drums in the back, put bigger disc in the front.
Right.
They're 12-inch rotors all around.
Yeah.
Actually, they're 11.9 in the front and
on
12
that
even
car,
on
it
the
wouldn't
back.
be an issue. But if you go to like an
Close
older A
enough.
body, you got to go between the metric and American brake. The flare fitting, the thread size. It goes. You got to
Use that on the Cadillac.
Yes.
Not sure he can
That's
take a
always
ball
fun.
bus.
I hate
I
that.
guess he's talking about Terry. Terry holds his own, man. We actually got into the 55, 6, and 7 thing on the air. Like he just said, all right, let's put it out there. Oh, and today we're going to Connecticut. And what do I see on 95? There's a guy with a flatbed next to us, and he's got a beautiful 56 two-door, white. It was like a white and brownish color. Beautiful. Like
Now I'm going to throw this out there. I told Terry the other day. I kind of like the 56 myself, and this is the reason why. One of my buddies, he passed away now, but he was 35 years old, and he built. Nobody could find a 57 anymore, so he bought the 56. And man, he built. It was so nice, dude. And from then on, I liked them. After that, they like kind of stick out. To
there's
me.
nothing wrong with them. It's
Yeah.
just it just comes down to style and what appeases your eye. They've always been the bastard child of the Tri-5s, always ever since.
It's true.
Ever since they were new, I don't know why,
Yeah.
but they just were. I mean, the inside's the same. It was just the front and rear light. The fenders are a little different,
Right.
but the front and rear light change
The
was really the
fenders,
big thing. And they had that. Well,
Well,
I was
5
gonna
and
say,
6.
they came out with the cool
dash is the
6 was the
same,
first year
right?
for that cool, the cool hidden gas cap. That was like that was freaking things of the future back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my buddy built his, and one day he sat on the couch, read the paper, and laid down
God.
and never woke up.
At
Had a heart attack.
35.
Sorry to hear that.
35. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too young.
He was a heck of a body guy too, man. He really put this
Wow.
car together.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yep.
So what's up in? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you never know.
What's up in Firebird Land, John? Any forward progress? Any motion?
Not yet, but very soon.
Mhm.
And I joined one of my Facebook buddies.
Mhm.
He's doing, those online, they call them waffles because they
No.
got to kind of keep a low key deal. It's a raffle.
Oh, okay.
But on Facebook, they call them waffles because Facebook kind of has a little issue with that.
Okay.
So you sneak around. So he,
You do know
Yeah,
we're live on Facebook.
I know all
right?
about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I won a $50 bet. Okay, there was 26 spots. I got myself an $880 race pack racing computer for the car.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Congratulations.
Can't beat it. It's phenomenal. It just came today. It showed up today, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a couple of other channels to
That's
it.
awesome.
I'll add in fuel pressure and nitrous pressure and 8 exhaust gas temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to put in the input shaft RPM because it gives you automatically gives you engine RPM and drive shaft. So I'll stick in the input shaft, which will tell me how much clutch slippage I have, and I'll be able to tune the car at the track with having all of those things.
Well, I guess a magnetic sensor, a magnetic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just
there's a ring that goes on your yoke.
That's it. Yeah.
And then it's got the sensor, and then on the clutch, on the front bearing retainer, Lenco makes one that's got like a little piece that comes out that the sensor screws into, and you get the input shaft that's got the magnet already embedded in it.
Right.
So it spins past it. Yeah.
So, hey John, tell everybody on Facebook that what you're talking about. What you
putting it in my '81 Trans Am half breed, fast street car.
Version what? What
motor?
Version 3.0?
Yeah, this will be 3.0.
What do you want to call 1.3? Whatever you want. I don't know how you're gonna what your nomenclature is. You know?
I think I got some. I don't know. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. I can do this. Hold on one sec. They got a screen. Oh yeah, the screen share right here. Hold on. I can put up a picture.
What motor are you running in that?
Yeah, right. Unbelievable.
That's just Dan stereo with the 5567.
What am I going to hit on here to share?
Okay.
Where's
it comes up with another screen.
And then click
on Crowdcast, right?
You should see your screen. See, I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know.
Hold on. Up in the corner here, you got a thing that says share.
Where your picture is?
Well, it's up in the top bar. And then that opens up another window that says share the event.
Oh, I just clicked and said there are no more
share to.
I just clicked and said there are no more seats left in this event.
Yeah.
Oh, you know why? Because we have 4 up. You can't share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It doesn't override it.
Hey, but listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump out because I had to finish packing, and so I can get out tomorrow. But you fellas have fun tonight, and I'm going to try to go live on Facebook up in Canada at the show. So we'll have Bogey there, awesome. Lou, and a couple other people. We're going to jump on live and spit at you.
Cool.
So everybody have a good night, and I'm jumping out.
Hey.
Wait a minute, I can't.
No, you can't jump out.
I think you had trouble with that.
If you jump out, the whole show shuts down.
So we'll just look at you. We'll just have to look at your closet. That's all.
Yeah. Wait a minute, I'll figure it out.
Hanging in there?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. All right, see you guys later. Have a good night.
No, we all got something hanging on our closet, right?
Oh, I think he figured it out.
I was going to say, who's driving now that he's not.
No, I'm still on.
Ghost of the machine.
There you go.
Wow.
That's right.
It's cold here.
Yeah.
See, you know what?
49.
It's free. I wasn't 50 what? Okay.
Wow.
With 22.
Vince sent me a thing. He sent me a screenshot of his phone this morning. It was 34 down there. So I sent the one that showed him like 23. I'm like, okay, I'll trade it. No.
We win, but not a good way.
It was like 41 this morning.
Oh, it was just like a bone chilling cold. It was like right through you. Yeah. But we've been dodging the bullets. Matt Gomez been getting all the snow. Him and Jason, they've been getting all the snow.
There was in my Facebook feed yesterday. There was a thing from Matco Tools.
Yeah.
And it said, "Become an owner. Openings available in the Tampa area."
Really?
So I tagged him.
Right up your alley.
Dude, you should bring your truck to Tampa. And you should have seen in the comments, there was a bunch of comments about how all of these repair shops cannot get anybody to even show up.
There's probably a good reason for that. It's probably because the tool guys can't get anybody to freaking pay their bills. You know, so they're not going to show up. I know Brian says it all
Yeah.
the time. He's always having, you know, and well, up here it's not as bad. You know, guys are pretty much in it, but there's always, you know, the guy that leaves the job, and then the guy's got to go track him down. You know, he's got like, you know, 10 grand out or whatever, and he's got to go find the guy. I mean, my guy says, yeah, they usually show up somewhere. They surface, you know, and they put out their internal network, so everybody kind of gets. It's like when Haggerty puts out the stolen cars and stuff. You know, it's like the Snap-on guy put out their internal list. Like if so and so shows up, let me know. You know. Yeah, well,
ridiculous.
You know, it's, you know, money on the street. You know, it's a lot of money.
He would love it here because it's better weather.
Yeah. Well, that'd be cool.
Who knows?
I thought you were thinking of a little gig for yourself.
Me?
Yeah, you'd be a great tool dealer. Hey, who better to sell tools than the guy who knows how to use them? I mean, it's like anything else.
This is true, but I'm in the middle of doing all this fish business.
Yeah, fishy business. I know. Well,
I got a big job coming up too. We got a jewelry store in Fort Myers. We're putting in a 650-gallon reef tank.
Really? Wow.
It's gonna be a living reef tank, yeah, and it's in a jewelry store.
Wow.
How large is the tank?
Like 10 feet long and like 4 feet high, and I don't know how far off the wall it is.
You know,
I forget the dimensions. My buddies out in Vegas are building it.
You know, it'd be cool if they used some like blue rock in the bottom and then like threw diamonds in there, like real diamonds.
That'd be a cool idea.
I mean,
we have another jewelry store that we do, and they actually do put jewelry in the tank. Yeah. But you can't keep it in there for long. Yeah, if they put, like, they had some pearl necklaces. Oh, yeah. And they kind of draped it around the live rock that's in there. Right. And within a week, the pearls started to kind of deteriorate in the salt water, believe it or not, even though they come from there. Right. Right, you would have figured nothing would have happened, you know. But and they had a ring in there that was like $7,000. Yeah. Problem is, a lot of times the fish pick at everything. Oh yeah. We had a pendant that was worth about $3,000 on a necklace. The fish took it and they like kind of wedged it under the rocks, but in the sand. Oh, those bastards! They were hiding it. And the guy couldn't find it. He was flipping out. We had to pull all the rocks out of the tank, and we had to use like a cat's pooper scooper. Yeah, yeah. And go through the whole sand bed, and it wound up on the other end of the tank. Wow. Completely on the other end of the tank. You take the fish out, you put them on a counter, and say, "Now talk. Tell me what a pendant is before you're not going back in." You'll freaking nuts. Hello. Yeah. Good night. And yep. So I don't know. And when they clean the stuff, when they take the jewelry out, they have to put it in that ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. And, even though you'd figure gold and silver and stuff that would be okay, it's, I guess, it tarnishes. Even in freshwater tanks, you get build-up. There's chemicals in there that can cause havoc. So, yeah, maybe it's not such a great idea. No, but they're in the display out in the window, the front windows of the actual storefront. Yeah. You walk up and you see fish and jewelry and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. We've been taking care of that tank since we installed it. I guess about going on 4 years now. Nice. Yeah, 2 tanks, one in each window. Wow. Everybody loves it. That is good. Yeah. So this guy's building a. They actually extended the building, and he's building it's like a lounge, and it's completely segregated from the jewelry store. Yeah. But they're going to be able to smoke cigars, and it's a place for the guys to go while the women spend the money on the clear American Express. Right. Yeah. Unreal. Yeah, it's a goal. Like, hey, yeah, if it works, it works. Why not? I'll put a tank anywhere. I don't care. Yeah. So it's cool. Very cool. Very. They're relaxing to look at too, though. They're awesome. Tank. I mean, you just sit there and just watch it. Even in the firehouse, we had a small tank, nothing like what you build, but just watching the fish. We actually had an Oscar, and we didn't know that he attacks other fish, and we that's what got me. That's what made me set up a fish tank years ago. My friend Kevin had a 55-gallon tank, and he had
3 or 4 Oscars, but they were big. They were the size of like pork chops, and they would just kind of just float around. They looked like steaks, like big fucking fish. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So that's what got me to do it. I didn't have fish that big, but I did have some fairly big ones. And it was the sound too. You hear like the water running through the. I had power heads, and so you get the water, that little trickle sound, and it's just kind of
have that.
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of relaxing, But a lot of maintenance, weekly water changes and all that crap.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Every day out there doing something.
Nice.
What am I looking at?
All right, let's see. So how do we go from fish tanks to cars?
Yeah, really.
Let me think.
Well, Jeff Lawrence has my cylinder heads for the LS motor. Yeah. So it's pretty cool because he's gonna. You know what? All I want him to do is just put the remember the Brian Tooley, dual valve springs that I showed on the show, couple and the trunnion kit. I said, Jeff, how much is it to install with the retainers? And then we started talking, and he's like, "Hey, you want to do a little bit of pocket porting and some bowl blending?" I'm like, "Well, they're off. I'll hot tank them, and
that's the time.
Well, they're off the car now.
That's
not to have the opportunity to do it again." And I don't have $1,000 to put on new heads. Actually, it's more than $1,000 for the CNC ported. Oh, and Jeff does. John, Jeff. He does awesome beautiful work. Oh yeah. So I figured, well, might as well do that. So heads are out. He has a supercharger to locate the dowel pin in the passenger side head. Mm-hmm. So that'll be all taken care of as well. We got the motor reassembled and stuff. I got the Holly pan for it. LS9 camshaft and timing chain. So this 6-liter, truck motor, the LY6, with the rectangular port heads, we're gonna take it from a truck to a '55 Chevy. So
I was just watching something.
Exciting,
I forget what show it was, but they were talking about LS engines and doing swaps, and they said the guy said, "Listen," he goes, 8 out of 10 of the LSs that we get from junkyards, we always pull a pan on every motor build. We pull a pan and maybe a couple bearing caps, and 8 out of 10 of them we put the pan back on and we use them. Very few, and he basically chalked it up to engine management. Said they run so lean and clean that there's no cylinder wash down or nothing. And he says these things just last. 8 out of 10 of them are last forever. They'll go all over the place. And it's pretty cool. But I got a question. This Camaro I worked on last year that I told you about, the '68. It's got a stroked 400 in it. I thought the car. I thought it was a 383. You can tell it's a stroker because you can just tell by the sound of it. It's got a nice sound. But it ends up it's a 400. And why he did that, I don't know, but he did. So the guy was complaining. He complained to me last year that he had a slight oil leak from the rear main seal. And the guy's in Brooklyn. He's in. Is he in Gerritsen Bay? Somewhere around there. And the shop that did it, he's had a couple different seals put in, still has a leak, and he's freaking fanatical. I think he has like a white checkerboard floor in his garage or something, and he's an Italian. So any drop of oil is like, oh my God, mama. I talked to him on the phone last night. Little I know the guy was like, he was half in the bag. I found out this morning. But I told him, I said, listen, how bad does it leak? Well, it's not that it doesn't leak like a lot all over the floor, but it comes down. Then when you drive, it splashes back. When you put the car in a lift, you got to clean it. I'm like, oh my God.
Now, when you got a tile floor and the oil spills on the white tiles, turns them brown.
Put cardboard under it.
So anyway, it's bad.
He wants us to fix this. He wants me to fix the leak. So I said, look, we got to go to the shop. I said, I'm not actually comfortable not knowing. I said I want to see the bottom end of the motor and mic everything because I don't know what they did when they built it. I mean, is there a tolerance that's out? Right. You've had the seal changed a couple times and you still have the leak. So is there a defective part? The motor's pretty much going to come out, to do that. So he's like, I don't care, whatever it costs. I'm like, oh my God. So I told him how in my Pontiac, which of course back in the day was the bastard child. You couldn't get anything decent for a Pontiac engine. But now there's a place out west that made a 2-piece Viton I guess it's Viton, a Teflon rear main seal, instead of rope seal. And they
mine had a rope seal. I remember that.
Right. And they make a one-piece oil pan gasket that I put in the car, which two things that you could never get for that motor. And the bottom end is absolutely, it's dry as a bone. So I said, I know if they're making it for a Pontiac, there's got to be a conversion for a small block Chevy. There's got to be some kind of a lip seal, again, but you need the diameter. So I don't know. I got to do some homework and see what's available. And then, I don't know, maybe pulling a motor and training out of a Camaro.
What displacement is
he doesn't know
because
he got it. He got it. I think with that engine in it, it was like pretty much freshly built when he got it. Now let's see. He told me. I think did he say it was 40? No, I think he said something was 40 over. I don't know if it was that or something. I don't think you can go 40 over in a 400. Tell you the truth. No, I don't think you can. So he doesn't
as well as you can't.
But you can tell by the you listen to just by listening to the engine. A trained ear. I knew right away this thing was a stroker. It was, it just had that sound. So
I'll tell you something funny. When you said that, the sound. My 68 Camaro, Jeff Lawrence built the 383 in there. We use the original 327 block because it's the same block as the 350 anyway. Then we put the Eagle Stroker kit in there. And I wanted to keep it looking pretty stock. So I got 291 Fuelie heads. And Jeff worked his magic with that. Big valves, stainless steel. Air gap intakes. We had to put a cowl hood on it because now the flat hood was not tall enough anymore to house everything under the hood neatly and stuff. One of the first cruise sites I go to, it's the old Home Depot out in by 112. And this old guy comes running over the car. Actually, he was old, and he was actually, with his walker. I felt bad. He goes, "What do you got in that thing?" I said, "It's stock." He's like, "You're full of it. You're full of it. You're going to tell me. I'm going to find out." And he's freaking out and stuff, About an hour and a half later, the hood's open and stuff. He goes, "I caught you." He goes, "Now you're going to tell me." And I think the guy was going to fall over in the park. I felt so bad, So I said, "It's stock. I'm telling you. Look at it, iron head motor." Mm-hmm. And he's looking at me like he's not buying it. I said, "Okay, you've tracked me down. I owe you an explanation." I said, "Jeff Lawrence built it." He goes, and I said, "It's 383. You sneaky son of a," and he was just like, he was so impressed, because the Camaro, everyone puts the Z28 stripes on it and they badge it to something it's not. I took the emblems off it. And the reason I took the emblems off is because they're NOS fenders, new old stock. GM, so they didn't come pre-drilled. And when I did that car the first time when I was a teenager, I didn't trust my hand to put the holes in the right spot. So I just eliminated the emblems. So I shaved the emblems. I was ahead of my time, So so now no one knows if it's a Super Sport or Rally. Well, it's not a Rally Sport. There's no hideaway lights, but I didn't put Z28 or SS on the car. I didn't paint stripes on it or anything like that. It's a Fathom blue car. Rally rims, very simply stated, and and like you said, Ray, this thing sounds awesome from the baller exhaust and stuff. And this guy picked it up. He's like, "You're full of it. Now you can tell me what's in it."
Yeah, well, you got.
I was flattered. That was pretty neat. That was pretty cool.
We went out to SK last week because on that Camaro.
Oh man, I missed that place.
And they expanded it, John. It's like twice as big.
Really?
Yeah, they took over the whole building next. Richie Zool is doing machine work out of the shop every now and again.
I gotta come up to the island.
We'll have breakfast, then lunch, and dinner.
I'll pick up in the car.
We'll go chow down. But it's ironic because that Camaro, as soon as I heard it, I said, "This car sounds great." I had it on the lift. I'm looking at the exhaust. It was an X pipe stainless, and he has MagnaFlow mufflers on the car. I said, "Oh yeah, I love those MagnaFlow mufflers." So one of my buddy at the shop, there's a guy in the exhaust shop down the block who told him, "Don't spend the money on MagnaFlows. Go to SK and ask them for the stainless steel 409 mufflers." Because why? Because just tell me what stainless steel 409s. Well, there they are. They're in a box. There's 409 right on it. They bought two sets. One for that 69 or 70 Mach 1 that the guy has, and the other set's going on this big block Chevelle that I'm working on.
Who makes these things?
I don't know. I just had them in my hand.
Private label?
I had them in my hands today because I had to move them from the truck, and it was so freaking cold outside. All I could do was take them in the shop and drop them on the floor. It was like, it's fucking cold. I'll find out. And I did see 409 prominently on the box. That's what they're called. And they're all made as a MagnaFlow knockoff, is what it is.
How big are they?
Well, you can get any size you want. Like for the Mustang, he got 2.5. It's a center inlet, staggered outlet, and for the Chevelle, it's staggered, just like for my Pontiac. So I'm going to see how they sound on the Chevelle, which is as far as we know, it's a stock 402, and then I'll decide. I'll use the Camaro, the Stroker Camaro, and then the Chevelle I'll put it through the music maker in my mind and figure out how it'll sound in my car. Maybe I'll put a set of them on my car. But
I got to try and find something that's like 3.5 or 4 inches.
Yeah, you need something huge
because with
right.
Mid 600 cubic inch
set of super traps out the back. It's like do it like the 80s. That was the 80s.
Super traps.
That was the thing, man. The super traps.
Those are terrible.
Yeah. Well, when I was out there, I found out my buddy Joe. I'm looking at him. I see him looking at me. I'm like, and I realized it's Joe. He works at SNK. So I'm talking to him. I said, "Actually, I didn't know you were working here." Yeah, I've been here about 6 months, 8 months. And then it sometimes things follow you. He had a car about a year or so ago, and I heard about it, and I wanted it. But I figured it was for sale. I said, okay, let's see if it sells. If it does, it's one less thing for me to worry about. And it did. So I'm asking him what he's doing, what's up to projects, and guess what came back? It came back to him, and now it's for sale again. It's a 76 Pontiac Aster wagon.
Oh, God.
Just like a Vega.
That's pretty neat.
It's painted. Yeah. It's got a wood grain interior, but it was set up for a V8 conversion. It's just no engine or tranny. He sold it.
Cool.
He sold it to a buddy who did a 5-lug conversion on the front that it didn't have before. It already has a 9-inch in the back. And I said, man, I got a big block of an M21 just sitting around. It's like, how much you want for the shell? He's like, $2,500. I'm like, oh no. Like, oh shit! I said, well,
$2,500.
I said, I got to talk myself out of it because really, what that car should have in is a 331. That's what it needs. It needs a nice, But I don't have an old. I had an old 327 laying around, but not anymore. I'm like, it needs a 331, and I don't have the parts to build it, so maybe I could just. You want an?
I do. You're in luck.
I think it's something.
No,
yeah,
you want a 327?
Because I think that's. I'm picturing a 331 with a set of Hilborn stacks on it. Oh, that'd be great.
Oh yeah.
And he already has a 6-inch cowl hood on the car.
That's really cool
for any kind of induction. I'm like, oh man, that'd be neat.
I got a bunch of big block stuff sitting around.
That's a 6-inch cowl.
Have you ever seen anybody use a set of round port headers on rectangular port big block heads?
Yes.
I've heard it could be done.
No.
I know.
Well, you're not
well, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to verify it because I have the motor I have has rectangular port heads, and my buddy Vic gave me a set of round port headers.
Those are good.
Like, oh, great. You're for a 55 Chevy. So
the ones that I've seen where they use the round on a rectangular port, it's on the smaller rectangular port head, and then you put a large primary round tube header, and supposedly the theory is when the pulse starts to back up, that exposed casting from the rectangular port that's intruding into the header tube acts like a block and keeps the exhaust flow pulse from backing into the cylinder head.
That's good.
Almost like a one-way valve. This is a theory that I read. It's like an inversion thing. I don't know if it actually works, but I've read that.
I think what I would do is I'd take like a rubbing of the cylinder head, the exhaust port on the head, and then maybe cut it out and see how it fits in the head. Because I'm curious. I'm more worried about sealing. You don't want to have exhaust leaks.
Sure.
Yeah, he gave me these.
Find a gasket that fits the port perfectly, and then just lay the gasket over the header.
That would be a lot easier than doing a rubbing. Yeah, you're right. Because then to boot, I've been thinking about building a gasser. He Defender well headers too. So I'm like, that's exactly what I just have to paint them white.
That's pretty neat.
My friend Gary Cordier is doing I think he's receiving the car next month. He had a guy like out in Ohio, pretty sure he's Ohio, that builds 55, 56, 57 gassers.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome thing. Straight axle.
Right.
He's got, remember they used to take the rear opening on the rear wheel well and just make them round?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
A lot of guys did that. They just rounded them on a 55 instead of leaving them low. It's got I think 10-inch slicks.
Right.
It's got a full cage. It's painted this awesome metallic orange.
Oh, nice.
Like a tangerine.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Sits high in the front.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can't wait for him to get that thing. It's going to be cool looking.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
He went to some race
one of the good guys
where it's like all these gassers and stuff, and he met this guy whose specialty is building 5, 6, and 7 gassers, and he contracted with him, and bam, thing's almost done now.
I know the Southeast Gas Association. It's was it Twain Stott is his name? He runs
Twain Stott?
Twain Stott, yes. He runs the Southeast.
Twain Stott,
he runs
he's a pro mod guy too.
He runs the Southeast Gas Association. There's one on the West Coast too. So I don't know, Ohio, that's mid Atlanta. I don't know where the hell they fall in, you know.
Yeah. Twain Stott either runs Mountain Motor Pro Stock or Pro Mod.
He's big in the Southeast Gasser. Very big.
Yeah.
Because it's they just have, you know, Wax have a lot of fun with it. They're on, you can look them up. They're on YouTube. They got a bunch of videos on YouTube.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool stuff. So,
yeah, one gas that really stuck out as the Good Guys show a couple of years ago. It was a dark green metal flake with yellow windows in it, and it was so ugly. It was cool, like really cool. Where it just yellow tinted glass. I mean, that just throws you right back into back in the day. It was just so high in the front. I mean, 15, 16, they're nice.
I think when I was around 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old, like 1970, down the block, my block was on a hill. You went all the way down to the bottom, and then on the next block there was a guy who had a house, no garage, and he had his daily driver at the time was a 68 Nomad wagon, white, black interior. And he had a race car, a 57 Chevy that was painted like in an American flag theme, and it had like light blue tinted windows. And it was just like, I'd ride my bike down at the bottom of the hill, and I would just sit like at the end of his driveway, and I'd watch these guys, just watch. And I guess it was probably weeks, if not months. And then finally, oh, look at that color. That is gorgeous.
Hold on a sec.
That kind of looks like the color
like
my car is going to be, but I think it's probably more of a candy color. It's got the 210
cool.
molding on the back. That's gorgeous. Yeah. It sure is.
And rates the correct year, too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got the rounded fender openings.
You got it. That's because everybody wants to know about it, but they can't afford one, so they'll put a piece of it on their car. It's nice. He knows the hood. That's nice. That's cool.
He's we built him a 50. You've seen the pictures, that red 55 with the white top.
Oh yeah,
Top Sportsman Pro Mod car we built. Mm-hmm. We built that for him, and then he moved out of that into a couple of different really fast Camaros, and he actually got down in the 5-second zone.
Wow. And
then he hurt his back.
Yeah.
So the doctor said, no more of this for you.
Yeah.
So he sold off everything. I mean, he had a whole setup, the car, spare engines, transmissions, one of those toter homes, big trailer, I mean, the whole gig. Sold it all off, and then he built this car.
All I had to do is put them in a turbo car because they don't hit hard. They just come on strong at the end, right? Just, get a nice, moderate launch and then just let it come on at the end. You're back.
Yeah.
Stand that. Yeah, come on.
It's going fast as a rat race.
Yeah, yeah.
It just never ends.
Right. Oh, that's
so. That's kind of why I'm glad I'm not involved in that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I just don't have the time.
Well, let's see what happens when that Firebird's back together.
Well, as of last week, I have decided I'm not putting a new back half in the car.
Oh, no? Okay.
Nope. I said, what? I'm going to make this real easy. And it ran good before. Why am I got to change everything? It's like building a whole nother car. So I'm putting a full cage, chrome moly cage, bumper to bumper, funny car cage edition. Mm-hmm. We're going to remove the 4-link brackets off the frame and put in the new style 4-link brackets that have the smaller holes that are closer spaced together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put in a brand new, like, Battlestar Galactica sheet metal housing. In the front, I'm going to go with, it has tubular upper control arms now. We're going to put tubular lowers on, and I'm going to cut out the shock mount on the chassis. And there's these kits that you can buy that you weld on top of the frame to grab a coil over shock. So it'll be upper and lower front end, tubular front end with coil over shocks, adjustable coil over shocks. Put the car together, get it painted, slide the big motor with the Lenco in it, and go play.
All right.
Quick and easy. It'll still look real good. When I get ready to do the cage, we're going to cut the cross members away from the rocker panels. I'm going to cut the rocker panels, the inner rocker panels, completely out. So it's just the outer skin.
Yeah.
And then reattach the car, actually lower the body over the chassis slightly to get the car to sit lower, but still have that chassis ground clearance that I need. And then fabricate the, the floor and the inner rockers. And I want to run the exhaust kind of in the rocker panel and then bring it out like a side pipe that's buried inside the rocker. It'll come out in front of the rear tire.
You'll put a piece of stainless on the outside. That's a nice.
The rockers on the Firebirds,
really cool.
they curve in pretty steep. So what we'll do is I'll cut that, and we'll extend the rocker down and then roll it under. I'll do a custom sheet metal rocker with the baloney oval shaped hole. Bring the pipe right out, just a couple inches before the rear tire.
You're gonna feel that, literally.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll look good.
That'll look really cool.
It'll be good. Cool. It's done. It's nice. It's no problem. So I'm making my life easy.
Why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
That and the wife is like, you got to get this thing done. Just get it done. Stop. Thinking about it and start doing it. Get out there and bend and burn metal.
You were still collecting tools, right? New tools.
Always collecting tools.
Well, for that project specifically, right?
Yeah. Well, I have everything I need to do that. I have a tubing bender. We have notcher. I have all the sheet metal equipment. I have everything I need to do the whole car.
Oh, good.
I got enough to go into business again.
You got to see how it's going to be. You got to see how it's going to be. Bending, stretching, moving, crouching.
Oh yeah.
Getting up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the big part. Getting down's easy. Getting up is the problem.
Well, I've already pulled the trigger with a local chassis guy to come and do my welding for me.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good.
So I don't have to get all balled up with the TIG torch and try and do stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I'll tell you something, John. My son Joe, he just graduated the beginners MIG and TIG class, and he's going to go to the advanced class April 30th. And he could TIG weld aluminum pretty well, actually. So if you need a guy, I need a vacation. I'll drag him down on a plane.
That'd be awesome.
You know what's funny? He's like, it was hard. He got to feel the pedal. And that was it.
Once you get the hang of welding regular, mild steel and then chrome moly, then it's just a slight change in your torch angle. And it takes a little while to get the feel for aluminum, because aluminum is either, first off, it's got to be really clean. It's got to be descaled. You got to really clean it. And with aluminum, it drops out on you real fast. It's either solid, then it's like puddle and then gone. So you got to watch what you're doing. And as you're adding the rod, aluminum has a tendency to really cool off the puddle each time you dip the rod. So I use a pulse technique. A lot of machines now have pulse built into them.
Yeah.
My machines are, the Synchrowave 250s. They're old school, but we would pulse. It didn't have a pulse attachment. We would pulse with the pedal, and it's a rhythm. You get into this rhythm of give it electricity, back off, give it juice, back off, and you get going. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm a drummer.
Yeah.
So I'm able to use two hands and one foot without a problem. And
the next thing you know, the welds suck, but like you're banging out a tune that you're doing triples. You're doing bottom triples.
Yeah. But yeah, aluminum takes a little time with aluminum because in the beginning it's kind of cold when you start out, and then when you get to the end of the run, that aluminum has soaked up a ton of heat. You got to back off the amperage. It's technique. It takes time. It's not something you learn in a week. It just definitely takes time.
Well, you know what though, Joe? I told him, I said, this is your start. You have some good tools. You learned a lot. Now build upon that and look where you're going to be in 10, 20, 30 years. He doesn't like stick welding though.
Joe does not stick welding.
All right, I'll tell Joe. So no, everyone I've asked so far doesn't like it. So I'll make sure I let him know that
stick welding is good for fixing truck frames and building skyscrapers,
right?
And bridges. That's what stick welding's for.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, he made a living TIG welding though.
Sure.
Think about
a lot of guys do.
Tommy Vincigara. I mean, he does. Yeah. I mean, his welds are beautiful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He does a gorgeous job. I mean,
he worked with me for years. He's good. A little crazy, but he's a good guy.
He's one of the best.
This guy on YouTube called This Old Tony, and he does a lot of machinist stuff, a lot of machining, and he does it out of his garage. But I know this is part of his work as well, and he does a lot of welding videos too. So one of the things that he built was a rotary table for welding, like perpendicular round stuff. So instead of having to turn the piece, the table now rotates like a record player. I'm like, that's a great idea. It's So he showed the commercial, like what it would cost to buy one, and then said, but we're going to make one, and then I forget what he used for the motor and all, but it's definitely doable.
What you can use is for a milling machine, they sell different diameter turntables, and it's got a knob on it that you spin. Yeah, and you just remove the knob, and you can hook up a variable speed motor to it, a three-phase motor or a DC motor, and you can use a foot pedal to adjust it.
Right. Yeah, I think he had a rheostat on it, so you could just basically dial it in. Same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. It makes so much sense, because I've done, even exhaust stuff or anything that's round, and you tack, but you got to keep moving because it's round. You can't get around the backside. And a couple times I thought of wow, if I could have somebody turn this for me while I'm doing it, that'd be nice.
Sure.
Of course, there's no one around that can turn it, so whatever. That's be probably another project to do. One. Damn. Oh. So Tori, what the?
Yeah, Joe MIG welding.
I'm finish with the welding because that's what we were talking about.
Oh no, Joe he likes to MIG weld too, but he loves doing the TIG. He's got a feel for it, but he feels more comfortable with TIG. So I said, well, look, you stick with your most comfortable with. And I said, again, mentioning Tommy, I said he made a great living doing that. So if that's your thing, run with it. Keep practicing and improve your craft. So
TIG welding is
very proud of him.
TIG welding is gentleman welding. MIG welding, MIG welding, you got the gun. There's always, no matter what you do, no matter what gas you're using, if it's a mix or whatever, there's always going to be spatter that's going to fly out. So
his helmet is all full of slag.
You got to wear gloves. You got to have a lot of protection. I used to TIG weld barehanded. Put the helmet on and just, if you're in the right position, the hand that's holding the torch is not getting hot. A lot of times I would take a shop rag and kind of double it up and just lay it on top of whatever I'm working on. But you could hold the TIG torch without even wearing a glove, and the rod, same thing. Either that or I wear really, really thin calfskin leather gloves. They're real flexible.
Yeah.
Just feed that rod and go. But yeah, it's gentleman welding. It's quiet unless you're welding aluminum. You got the AC going and it's like, zzz, you know, it's buzzing. But when you're doing DC welding, when you're doing ferrous metal, you just hear that high frequency when it starts, and then it gets quiet, and there's almost no noise coming out of that weld as you're going along.
And that's exactly counter to MIG welding, because like I was showing my buddy at the shop, I said, all right, what you do is once you strike it, I said, listen for the sound, and you know, when it's going bzz, you know you're welding right. If it's going if you hear, you know, staccato, no good.
Exactly.
You know, you don't have enough gas.
Exactly.
I was watching the pressures. I said, you got to listen to the metal. It'll tell you what's going on.
Staccato means you're either not enough amperage or too much wire speed,
or not enough cooling, enough shielding gas.
It's got to have that serious crackle sound to it, and then you know you
have a buzz.
Right. Then you know you're putting in a good weld.
Exactly.
That's true.
I actually showed them at the shop. I said, you know, I use this place called Tip Tools. They sell. I get all my bead blasting stuff from them, and a lot of welding supplies. I think they're down in Florida. And one of the things I bought years ago was a tip for the MIG gun. And it just has 2 feet on it, and it, you know, it's like
spot welding.
So, well, basically, you put the 2 feet, you put that against the metal, and it holds it a 1/4 inch. It holds the wire a 1/4 inch off of the. And you can just slide it down, you know, and just move it, and you're a 1/4 inch off every time. You don't get stuck.
I have a cup like that for my TIG welding torch.
Right.
And I actually use the TIG welder to spot weld.
Sure.
You know, you push it against it, and you turn your amperage up, you know, pretty far, and you slam the pedal. Right. Bam.
Bang. Yeah,
and it just heats up. Done.
Right.
No filler rod or anything. You're just melting 2 pieces of metal together.
It's like a
as a spot weld.
Like a resistance weld. When I use the tool, resistance welding tool.
I do that all the time when I'm putting sub assemblies together, like sheet metal. When I'm doing sheet metal work, and I literally tack weld when I do when I had to stretch quarter panels. Same thing, and I just use the TIG torch to spot weld, and then we go back in, change the cup, and then go back in and start doing what we got to do. Yeah. But yeah, you could use a TIG for anything. I'm itchy. I'm taking this what is it, Tramadol? It's a kind of like Oxycontin.
Yeah,
it's for pain in the knee, and it makes you itchy.
Really?
Yeah, it's like freaking. I feel like a crackhead.
I was going to say, years ago, I woke up one day. It was in the summer, and around my belt line, around my my stump, my lower stomach, it was just a little bit itchy. It's like, what the hell is that? It happened once or twice before, no big deal. And then it got a little worse. And I called my doctor, and he says, "Yeah, you know what? Just take some Benadryl. It should be all right. Maybe it's a little rash or something." I said, "No, there's no redness or nothing." And the next day, I called him back. I said, "Yeah, my urine is darker." He's like, "Why don't you come in and let me look at you?" It ended up that was the beginning of my liver flipping on me. I got so itchy. Oh. That was the worst part of it. I was at the height of it when they didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. I couldn't have a t-shirt on me because it's just like it felt like I constantly had a scarf around me that was made out of crushed glass and barbed wire. Everything it was itchy, but just it annoyed me. I had like a sheet put over my head. I was like Cornholio. I just threw a sheet over my head, and I would sit there and just the air. And I couldn't. It was a whole myriad of crap. And I tell you, itchy. It makes me itch when I hear that because that was the worst.
Oh man, that's horrible. Yeah, it comes and goes. You take the pill, like I'm supposed to take them twice a day. Within about an hour and a half, you feel itchy, and then it wears off. It's very odd. It's one of the side effects.
Are they getting you in for like blood work checks? Regular blood work checks?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. All good.
Because what it was my bilirubin that was going through the ceiling. It was like, and that's what it was. It was actually like coming from the inside out and manifesting through the skin. I can't explain any better than that, but it was hell, living hell. So when I get itchy, I'm like, oh boy.
That's weird.
Yeah. Bad.
Now the doc told me, he goes, when you take this it may make you feel a little itchy.
Okay.
He goes, but it goes away. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's a known side effect. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of strange. But that's what I need to kind of get through this pain.
Yeah, I hope you feel better soon. I know it's a long road.
6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, at least
Wow.
that's 6 weeks behind you already instead of you haven't done it yet, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm up walking again, so that's good.
Okay.
But I'm still using the cane.
Don't push it.
No, I'm not. I went to therapy today. They were pushing me in therapy. They were like, "You gotta bend it, man."
Yeah.
So I'm up to like I think 109 degrees.
Okay.
I can close the knee.
Nice.
So he goes, "That's good." He goes, "You're actually ahead of the curve. So
That's
keep
great.
going."
That's really
That is
good.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you
doing
said
what you're
before,
doing.
like we all have that mentality. You tend to, once things you don't feel it anymore, you tend to push it a little. Not really push. You just tend to get back to where you were, and then you end up screwing yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to get back to work because as soon as I get back to work, I can start working on the car.
Yeah.
I gotta.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I signed
There you
up for
go.
Hot Rod Drag Week,
Okay.
but I didn't get in. I'm in the wait list.
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna do?
All right.
But I'm pushing, and everybody's telling me, just go, get the car done, and go there. They'll let you in
Or just show
because
up.
you got a legacy car.
Right.
Well, I got a legacy
Yeah,
car
sure
for the
is.
first race,
Sure.
so I have a good chance with that. So
Right.
my friend Evan gave me a Hot Rod Drag Week baseball hat.
Uh-huh.
I have it sitting on the dashboard of the truck.
Okay.
So every time I get in that truck, I'm like, I need to be there in September.
Oh yeah.
Time to get going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I'm going to start ordering. I'm going to start ordering parts now for.
Yeah, we gotta get
I
him
have
back
some
on again.
drivetrain stuff. I'm going to order a brand new nose for the car, brand new deck lid.
Right. You're gonna use.
I found
you were talking about the nose and the dash a couple of weeks ago. Who was that from?
Yeah, right. Dashboard VFN.
Okay.
Yeah, out in I think they're in Illinois.
Right.
And so I'm going to get a brand new nose. They make a fiberglass bumper.
Yeah.
Which that was one of the things that was worrying me about what I'm looking to do. Way back when, that car used to have those. You ever see those wheelie bars from Morosa with that flat aluminum spring?
Yeah.
They're not big. They're not long bars at all. That's what the car had.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to tubular wheelie bars. I want something that's a little longer.
Oh yeah.
And that's going to wind up, the uppers are going to wind up interfering with that bumper.
Oh yeah.
So if I get the fiberglass bumper, I don't have to worry about what am I going to do with this urethane bumper.
Right.
With a fiberglass bumper, I can cut a notch. I can glass it in.
Yeah. Sure.
It'll look perfect.
Nice.
So I'm going to get the rear bumper, new deck lid, because the old deck lid is kind of beat up and doesn't really fit the car that well.
Mm.
It's actually a little bit smaller than it should be. So I got a pretty big gap body line.
Oh yeah. You don't want that.
Yeah. So I'm going to get a new deck, and then that dashboard deal is going to work out real well
that's nice.
to be able to get to stuff, and a newer, lighter nose and hood. So
Right.
should be pretty cool.
No.
And then I saw some, those guys that do the custom cars, the Ring
Oh,
Brothers.
yeah. Oh. Top shelf. Top shelf.
I
They do
found
really nice work.
they make billet aluminum door hinges
Mm-hmm.
for F bodies. It's $335 a set.
Mm.
But let me tell you something,
Wow.
Dick. Absolutely gorgeous compared to the steel crap
Yeah.
that falls apart on a second gen. So I'll spend the money for those because I'm putting brand new doors on the car too.
Yeah. Anything they do is just. I when I was up to Syracuse Nationals a couple of years in a row.
Nice.
I saw a few of their cars each year, and I just stand there. And it's just stunning.
Yeah,
You're like,
they're amazing.
talk about going to like another level above the last level that you saw. That was nuts,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, Ray.
Well, you can do a lot if you
Yeah.
when you got a background
They're
in
66
machining.
Chevelles.
And engineering.
You've got an engineering, and you've got multi-axis machinery, and flame and laser cutters, and you design something on a computer and you hit the button and bam, it shows up in the shop.
There's that.
When you have those tools, you could do stuff.
Yeah, there's that, but they also have that the engine. They execute it. It's not just like
Yeah.
some guys will do that and just throw parts at something. They have the whole package. Like their cars flow. And I was looking at a Camaro, and it's like he was pointing some stuff out that I wouldn't have noticed all of it. Subtle things like recessing moldings and changing gaps and just little detail. Like they went to the detail end of things, and you're like, wow, yeah. Now that you say that, I can see like what a difference this makes. You know,
every one of their cars has hundreds of things that have been changed that the average guy would walk right by.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to stand there and actually know what you're looking at to even find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to give those guys big props. All of those guys.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Every one of those dudes knows what they're doing with that stuff.
Yeah, I put a link for the 66 Chevelle. That's one of my favorite builds at Ring Brothers.
Awesome.
That's a gorgeous car, you know. So
yeah, it's that
yeah. The link is in the comments section there in the chat.
Vince put Vince wrote Little John. I think he's talking about Little John Botero.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
That's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ray, what were we asking before we got
sidetracked?
I apologize.
Pursuing the welding in any type of a career form, or if it's just for his own education.
Is he going to get into aircraft?
Any specific area, or is he doesn't know yet?
Well, he wants to get done with the program. There's, the advanced classes of MiG and TIG and shielded arc. And then come September, there's a general welding class. And it's to put everything he learned in the other 4 classes to work. And after that, he's going to figure out, where he wants to go.
Sure.
I mean, you got MacArthur Airport right over here. You have, in back of the airport where you have like all those smaller places where you have, the helicopters and the small props, your Cessnas and stuff. I mean, I'm sure he could get a job over there. Over on Raynor, on the other side, across from the back of the airport, you got the industrial park there.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of places to work nearby.
Yeah.
And with a skill like that, I mean,
absolutely,
how could he miss? So yeah, he does like it though. He really does. I mean, there are things I'll tackle now that I didn't think I would. Like, for example, putting a floor in a car. If he could weld it, I'll cut it out. I'll drill all the spot welds out, and I'll make sure I'll make sure that surface is perfect. And prepared to put the new floor in. Get all the vice grips. I'll put it in place. If he wants to weld it, go ahead. Get that hole puncher that punches the holes in the metal.
Oh, yeah, I got one of those.
So you plug weld
all different size punches.
So now I got to stop. Right. So now I have to stop buying stuff like that that's associated with
I
welding,
got the car
because
the floor
I never
too.
had those tools because I never welded.
There's a lot of aircraft stuff.
Well, you know what?
There's a lot of aircraft stuff that's involved in racing. When I decided to get serious as doing drag race cars for a living, there was a school. It's not there anymore. In Deer Park, there was an airframe school. Do you remember where the Deer Park Airport used to be? Off of Grand Boulevard?
No, I know. But I don't.
Literally off of Comac Road and Grand Boulevard.
Right.
Oh man, it was.
How many
it was
years
in
ago
the late
was that, John?
70s. I went there, and that airport closed, I think, in 79.
Wow.
There was literally a small airport right there in Deer Park before that industrial park got big.
Yeah.
If you were on Comac Road and you were heading south, you would make a left on Grand Boulevard, and it would be maybe 2,000 feet up on the right hand side was an airport.
Wow.
And there was an actual course that was being taught there. It was airframe mechanics. So
wow,
I went and took the class. It was like a year-long class where they showed you how to fix airplanes. And I looked at it as, well, if I could do this kind of aluminum work and this type of manufacturing, I could put that right into a car.
Sure.
Like, they taught you the proper way of doing like flush mount rivets. They teach you the ins and outs of using a bucking bar and squishing rivets. All the machinery that's involved with repairing airplane skin is very similar to what you do to build an actual race car, you know? So, and then all your welding comes in hand with that too. TIG welding on an airplane, you're TIG welding everything. MIG machines don't exist in the airline business.
Right.
So that, to me, that was like a really good way for me to know that what I'm doing, putting somebody's life on the line, I know I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons that I took the advanced welding courses and got an actual government certificate for Heli. I had to weld Heli-Arc weld different materials, different positions, and then they actually take your samples and they stress test them. They X-ray them for penetration. I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get that license, that certificate, you know. And then with that, I was confident to be able to actually build stuff for people. You know, as opposed to a lot of guys that are just working out of a garage and it's like, yeah, okay, he's a good welder, so he starts building race cars.
Yeah.
You know, then you got to worry about that one time that somebody crashes and something comes apart, and whose fault is it?
Yeah.
And mind you, I've had some of my cars crash for one reason or another, but it's always wound up being either driver error or a problem with like a tire blowing out or a rear end locking up or something like that. There was never anything that was a defect in the actual chassis connection car. So that worked out well.
Thank God.
Saved a couple of lives. Saved a couple of lives. I remember when Bob Selleck ran his Trans Am literally head on into the wall at the Hamptons at about 190 miles an hour.
Wow.
Car was junk. He got out. He just had burns on his shoulders from his harness. He hit that wall probably at like 10, 12 G's.
Wow.
Jeez. Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow.
Oh yeah. He walked out. He was fine.
God,
He was pissed off that he crashed.
Yeah, that's always good.
So, yeah.
Of course.
We wound up fixing that car.
Wow, really?
All that work and stuff.
Yeah, we had to put a front clip on it. It got like S shape and caved in some stuff. But literally from the firewall forward, we were able to just chop it and rebuild.
Unbelievable.
And at that point, we extended the wheelbase out too, because that was a standard. That was an older pro stock car that we built.
Yeah,
it was only 103 inches. So when we redid it, we brought it out to 110. Made it a lot longer. It makes it a lot easier to drive too.
Wow.
And we put a newer body on it, so it worked out well.
Yeah, we were at ATCO. Nice. We were at ATCO a couple of years ago, and Craig Pyle
I remember when he crashed.
His, Pro Mod Vet. And
yeah,
I was there that night, and let me tell you, I'm looking at that car, I'm like, this thing is junk. I mean, the rear was twisted, the front was, the front was actually wrapped around itself. It was all twisted. It was shifted like 18 inches. I mean, I'm looking at the car, and I'm like, oh, my God. Nicky Montana looks at the car. He goes, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, exactly. Like, 60 grand later,
But you can if they're built right. Nicky knows what he's doing. He learned from me. He worked for me for years.
That's what I'm saying, What a shame, though. You know what happened, though? Craig was mad, that night, and the track conditions, it got cold out and stuff, and, they would give him a hard time. He wanted to run the full track, not run the eighth. And because of the weather and stuff, he's like, that's it. I'm going to, I'm going to put a lot of boost in this thing. And he wound up. The funny thing is the guy he was trying to beat, actually, he red lit. He didn't have to move the car. And that car was running sub 6 all day. All day. It was running around 589.
Was doing good. That was a cool car.
All consistent all day. Yeah. Well, you know what, though? It was like 40 degrees out, and that's when things, nothing sticks, you lose your traction, bad things happen, So, but what a shit. He was more, I mean, I think he bruised his ankle really, really bad in the crash. And he was more mad about the car. He's like, I'm fine, and his poor wife, she was upset, I mean, that's a big investment, though, when you think about it,
Happens every day.
But, Nicky fixed the car. All was good. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, he walked away all right, and that's what's most important, though. Yeah, we were all worried about him, so
this is the car that crashed
it's
at
one
the
of those
Hamptons.
unfortunate
and
things.
We rebuilt it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice car.
See how far the front wheels are from the windshield?
Yeah. And there's nose in front of that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Firebirds have it's like a 47-inch overhang
Yeah, that's big.
stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a big nose. They had to change the rules for Pro Stock because of that nose.
Okay.
Yeah. When they first came out in '93, all the guys at the Fords and the Dodges were flipping out because they literally had more than a foot head start at the finish line, because the nose is what clips the lights at the finish line.
Right.
And it was unbelievable. Nobody was coming anywhere near that kind of overhang at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Pontiac. I guess GM, but Pontiac had because actually the Camaro was a little bit shorter than the Firebird nose wise in same year.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild. Let's see here. Yeah, here. If you look at this one, look where the front wheels are here.
Oh yeah.
That's 103-inch Pro Stock.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So we moved the body. Look at the fender opening.
Oh yeah.
See, there's like almost no
That's
rear
really
wheel
cool,
well
yeah.
there.
Right.
We slide the body back 4 inches.
Yeah.
To get the engine out from under the cowl.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to do that.
Okay.
In Pro Stock, you were allowed to do that stuff. So, great. I'm all out of focus now. What happened?
Yeah,
that's weird,
definitely
dude.
out of focus.
I don't know. How do you focus it?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, mine
There you
doesn't
go.
have
You're
full
good.
manual
You're clear
focus on
again.
it. Just
You're good.
No, mine doesn't either. I guess it just figures it out.
yeah.
It's just the kind of thing you hang on the top.
Exactly.
Amazing.
They work.
So that's it.
So what's on the agenda for tomorrow, gentlemen?
Well, since
I got to go to work for a little while.
since I took off today, I got to go to work tomorrow too, and see what's going on.
Okay.
I'm going to go do some stuff at the shop, do some water changes, and then what else do I have to do? Oh, I got to go I got to go to my wholesaler. I got to pick up some stuff. I got a customer's gagging. She wants seahorses.
Oh, geez.
I got to see if they have I got to see if they got any seahorses in stock.
What's Vince going to the doctor for? What's up? What's he doing?
2 times, he says.
Like one isn't enough.
And above that, he says he's going to the
right,
and
exactly.
No, you're talking about aircraft and power. Right.
I know.
Go to the AP to get coffee. Yeah, I gotta get some 8 o'clock coffee.
Oh, there you go.
I just ground up some fresh last week.
Let me tell you, there's a place by the house, and you get a large coffee, and the cup is like, it's like an 18-inch. It's ridiculously
Nice.
It's almost
That's good.
cartoonishly too big. But I drank every bit. I filled up with about 1/8 of the way, maybe a little more milk. But it wasn't bitter. It was really, really nice. I mean, and she goes, "Oh yeah, just don't tell the owner the secret.
Right.
I just put more coffee in there." So let's say it needs like 10 scoops. She'll put like 15 in there.
Wow.
Just to make it.
Wawa's got.
Oh, it was a nice cup.
My Wawa. All the new Wawas, they have these machines that actually grind the beans.
Yeah.
Right there.
Mhm.
You know what it is? It's like a big giant glorified Keurig machine.
Yeah.
But you got your choice and then the size and everything, and the coffee tastes really good.
That's good.
But
Yeah,
that always works well.
Right.
I was never a coffee drinker until Lou got me into it. I don't know what happened. Hey, come on, let's go downstairs. Let's get a cup,
yeah.
And in the hotel, there's nothing else to drink. And it's like, hey, you know what? Well, I never liked the taste of it. I never liked it because it was always like that bitter. I just, now I'm realizing
Well, you
that
get the end of the
they
pot,
made the coffee wrong.
If they leave it
They didn't.
sitting, yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Even like 9/11. I mean, the outpouring, down there, ground zero, there was nothing down there, guys. I mean, there was absolutely nothing down there. So you had people like walking around with coffee carts and stuff, like, hey, hand out cups of coffee to the firemen, the cops, or all the first responders. And I would wait until I had like a cup of tea or hot chocolate because I really didn't like having coffee unless I was really forced to, and not realizing that it's not that I didn't like it, just that no one really made it right.
Yeah, you got
it gave me a bad first impression.
No, everybody's got a taste.
I always love the aroma of it.
Sure.
What you like, yeah.
I like them all, though. I like coffee. I like tea.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Chinese tea with a lot of sugar.
That's what I'm drinking.
Did you guys ever get
it's Chinese
green
in here?
That's the only way.
With raw sugar and raw.
That's it.
It's my
Chinese tea. Straight
No,
Chinese tea with a bunch of sugar in it.
Excuse me, Zachary. When I got to lunch, you'll see. When I got to Chinese lunch and they bring the pot, usually no one else wants it. I'll drink that whole pot of tea. So bring me another one. Bring me.
You're like me. I love that.
Yeah, bring it all, man. Bring it on. Yeah.
Ray, we should go to Queens. We should go to Richmond Hill, go to Hawaiian. The place has been since 1970.
Nice.
The place hasn't changed. I should
going
come
away,
your way.
man.
We'll go to lunch on Liberty Avenue.
Yeah. I still want to go to that one out by you.
Somebody made a post on Facebook.
Let me tell you
how
something.
come you never see Chinese restaurants advertising?
Yeah, they don't have to.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, though.
If they're good.
You never see an ad for a Chinese restaurant anywhere.
Yeah. But the best ones are the ones with the old dark wood paneling, right?
Yeah.
And with the red and yellow
the cats
shrimp
hanging from the ceiling like provolone.
Yeah,
Right. And it was like 1970 when you walk in the place.
Oh, you're going to love
that,
John. Yeah, my wife's like, you probably like this too. My wife's going to get me some cold cuts for the end of the week for lunch at work. And she goes, I'm going to get you some mortadella. I'm like, I love mortadella. But like, I got to have it like either bologna or ham. And I mix it, and then Swiss cheese. I put pickles on there. And like maybe my dad with mortadella sandwiches. Oh, that stuff is so good.
It is.
Oh.
It's awesome.
Yeah, if it's
ham capicola is good too.
I like it spicy. Yeah. Now they can't even get it. They'll call it ham cappy.
That's the only way
or they call it spiced ham. Like, no, I need gabagool.
Yeah.
Come on, gabagool. Get the gabagool.
Right.
Gabagool. Come on. Yes. Like,
yeah. Come on, gabagool. How long I gotta wait? Let's go.
Funny.
Unreal.
That's like we left this after our pizza orgy today. We're coming back. I said, yeah, and I go for some like, so coffee, and my buddy Mike started. He goes, yeah, I feel like having a cannoli now. I'm like, oh, cannolis. Yeah, then we got to get black coffee. I'm like, where can we stop? We're in Connecticut. Like, Christ, we're screwed. Yeah.
There's got to be a place in Connecticut.
Where we were was Little Italy of Norwalk, and I tell you, I think Little Italy in Norwalk is now bigger than Little Italy in New York City. Because it's been
Little Italy in New York City is like
the Chinese,
nothing but Asians. They took over.
But
they bought everything.
A long stretch, and there's pizzerias everywhere, and Italian restaurants. Like, it's a pretty big stretch. It was impressive, really impressive.
That's cool.
There's an Italian place in Connecticut, in Bridgeport, right at the end of the ferry.
Okay.
Called Ralph and Rich's. Okay. I walk in the place. And Richie's sitting there, he's outside in the veranda with his hat, smoking a cigar, and a fishbowl glass of brandy, just hanging out there, on a nice day. I mean, and the place when you walk in there, it's like a throwback, it's like the 60s Rat Pack, Sinatra, Dean Martin, the bathroom was painted red.
Sounds
with
like
all the
two
old pictures and stuff,
in Brooklyn.
And the place is just so good, There's a thing there called Sunday sauce, where they just like Mom used to make, Grandma used to make.
The Sunday gravy, you got the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did I read that Spumoni Gardens is closing?
I don't know. The woman who owned it just passed away about a week or two ago. I saw it in the paper.
I saw something. I don't know.
I get a Twitter.
For some reason, I heard they were closing the place.
I don't know. I'd be surprised. I was just there over the summer. We had to go to Tesla in Brooklyn. We stopped at L&B. Got to get some get a square slice. I got to tell you, I years ago I had reestablished a friendship with this guy, Frank Dominiani, who owned High Speed Speed Shop in Valley Stream. Was there since forever. And now he was in his 80s. He was just going there to spend time. But I walk up to the door one day and I hear him. He's down the driveway in the back at this little round table with a little umbrella. And he's motioning me like this. All right, so I come down. Like, Frank, he goes, oh, sit. Yeah, it was summertime, so it was hot. And he's sitting there, and he's got his buck knife, and he's like peeling provolone and salami with the buck knife. He goes, you want some? So he's peeling it off.
That's what Nunzi did when he would come to the shop.
Yeah.
I swear.
And I thought he was drinking wine. It looked like a glass of wine. He goes, you want something to drink? I'm like, yeah, what do you got? He was drinking I think it was some kind of fruit punch or something. Like, what do you got? So it was sitting there. I said, if I didn't know that we were off Merrick Road in Valley Stream, I think I was in Naples somewhere. Like, I just want to hear like a tarantella. I hear the hit like fucking top with the buck knife and all. Like, have some cheese. Oh, that's good. Like, wow.
That's exactly when we were fixing Nunzi's Trans Am. We were rebuilding it, putting a chassis in it. He would come out and he would bring the bread and he would bring the cheese and he'd bring a thing of wine that he made with the grapes that he grew behind the shop.
Yeah.
He did the whole deal and he'd sit there at the table and he would with that. He pulled that knife out of his pocket, wipe it on his pants leg.
Yeah.
It's. I love that guy. Clean. I need to call him. I haven't talked to him in years. Last time I saw him was, I guess it's like 5. I'm trying to look here. I got a plaque. It was at Englishtown. Okay. They did a thing about people on Long Island that had something to do with motorsports.
Yeah.
And they picked me as a chassis guy that I made a lot of contributions to, motorsports. Mm-hmm. Being a chassis shop on Long Island. Shafferoff got an award. Nunzi got an award. Yeah. They even had who was the guy that owned National Speedway?
Oh, yeah.
He was there. I forget his name.
I got a piece of National Speedway's guardrail next to my garage.
I don't have it anymore. I had a piece of asphalt with the finish line stripe on it.
Nice.
Yeah. I went out there years. God, let me see. We were in the small chassis connection shop on Cleveland Avenue, and me and Victor Cagnazzi went to go look at a car out in the Hamptons. Mm-hmm. And on the way back, he said, "Let's go by National." And it's a community of like prefabbed houses for elderly. So we went in the main gate and drove all the way to the end. And then it just stops. The whole place is to this day still isn't fully developed. Right. And we got out and walked on the dirt to where the track was, and there was some bushes, and we found pieces of the finish line area. We kind of wedged up a piece of the asphalt with the white stripe going through it, and then we found one of the chrome. Remember way back when they had Krondek timing system, right. And they used incandescent spotlights.
Yeah.
And I took one of those that was just laying there. It was dented. The lens was broken. It looked like a headlight from like a 40 Ford.
Yeah.
Like the bullet shape with a base. It still had the wires in it and the socket, but it was made for like a headlight, a high wattage light. And we took that. It was rusting and the whole deal. And I had them on display at the chassis shop for years. And then I was like, throw this crap out. Yeah. So, but it was cool. We actually used the piece of the finish line. The door to the office would always kind of blow shut in the wind. So we used it as a door stop.
You think about that. You think about a Krondek timing system with a light like that. You're trying to cut a light, and think now, like with LED technology, think of that bulb has a time that it takes to light. So there's another factor built in on top of your own reaction time. It's the reaction of the light.
Yep, exactly.
And I would imagine as those bulbs heat up from repeated use, that time may get a little shorter because the filament is already hot. It's already warm. So that's pretty cool. It's something you don't really think about.
Yep. Yeah. Now I remember seeing an interview with You know what it was? It was during that movie that the snake and the mongoose.
Oh yeah.
This was a behind the scenes thing. And Prudhomme said that at one point in time, when he was young, he was able to focus so vividly on the bulb that he could literally see that very first hint of electricity getting into that filament.
Right. That's wild.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I got
Look who's in the chat room.
Dina.
Look who's in the chat room, guys.
Oh, hey Dina.
Dina.
Nice.
Dina Parisi.
Good to see you.
How are you?
When no one's driving,
Yeah.
we can't get you on.
Yeah.
Lewis left.
We can't invite you in because we don't have control.
We have no control.
No, we're all out of control. Dina, I will call you during the week and we'll get you scheduled for March. We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, so it's she's long overdue for a visit. We always enjoy having her as a guest, so I'll make sure that she's awesome, ain't she? For sure.
I spoke to Andrew, I guess about 2 weeks ago. He says they've got some big stuff's going to happen for this season. They're going to do a lot of testing, and they're working with some new marketing partners and some changes to the engine.
Good to know.
They're going to be she's going to be a real force to reckon with after she's done testing. That's going to be great. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's
cool. Oh, I'm glad she stopped in.
That's all. No, me too, for sure.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad she found us because, wait, no. When she first came on, we were on a Crowdcast anyway. Then we switched.
She
back
says
to,
top secret
Blue
squirrel
Jeans.
stuff. Yeah, I bet.
It's got
Good for you. You deserve it.
You got to keep it secret. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're working on a whole different combination, so should be good.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that'll be all good stuff for the show anyway. But it's funny because Dina and my daughter Alexa, they actually have a show in common. What's that show they watch? Oh, it's that police show.
The live,
like
live,
Saturday nights
something live,
stuff.
right? Yeah, Live PD.
Live PD.
They do a lot of that stuff down here because there's crackheads everywhere on the
well,
coast.
there's a lot of Florida coverage. Yeah.
Yeah, tons.
Everybody's wearing. No one ever wears a shirt. And the guys don't have belts.
It's like every other week when they go live to Florida. It's Pasco County.
Right.
But like Pasco is above the next county above where I live.
Yeah.
But the part of Pasco County where they always film is all the way over by the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like crack central over there. There's like this whole area off of 19. Just you stop for a traffic light and you take a look around and they're like drunk or drugged out laying on the concrete of an abandoned gas station. It's like, whoa, get me out of here. Yeah. It's hilarious.
I went to the Bronx.
It's a show.
I went to the Bronx today and it wasn't that bad. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that's nutty.
Very cool.
It sure is.
Neat stuff.
Oh, she's doing some work for the Pickles Project. Canine handlers. Cool.
Excellent.
Have you seen the Pickles Project page? You got to go on there. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. I have. Yeah. And you know what's good about Dina, too? I mean, she's all... Sounds like my ex-husband. Oh, God. But, she always puts good stuff on, on social media. She has a good handle on social media. Always very positive with everything she puts up there, I can be having a miserable day, and my phone goes off, and I'll be like, I needed that. That's, it just kind of, just brings you back down, centers you again, and just plants your feet firmly on the ground again.
She has manners.
So,
unlike
you,
me, I'm uncensored. She knows how to work with that.
Yeah.
I'll never get a sponsor. That's cool.
You were good tonight, though. What do you mean that you're not censored?
Yeah.
You were good tonight. We had good conversation. We kept it clean, right?
I try.
Talked about cars and fish tanks and food.
Yeah, we did.
We did good. I got some LS stuff in there. We talked about Tri-5s. Yeah, the 55 and 6 have the same dash, and the 6 and 7 have the same rear wheel opening, for the on the rear quarter. I think we did good tonight. We did all right.
We tried.
No complaints there.
I've been trying to be less political on Facebook, but they keep dragging me back in.
Hard not to, yeah.
It's hard.
It's
so hard. But you know what I'm finding? Like I got friends, they post stuff or like they repost stuff, they share.
Yeah.
And I go and I Google what they're doing and I find out it's something from 5 years ago and it's totally wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I send them a private message. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Stop. Take this down.
Dina, when you sit between Tori and John, it's kind of hard to be anything but a little more quiet. No, don't be sorry.
I'm sorry, Ray.
That's fine.
I'm not getting ahead.
Yeah, right. You gotta go the other way. Yeah.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that's how it is on my screen.
1, 2.
On my screen, you're in the middle, and I'm on the right hand side. Tori's on the left side.
Well, that's how it is. I'm looking at you on my right, and Tori's on my left. So John, if you go with a right head button, Tori went with a left, right? Then you'd clunk me. No, Tori the other way. That way, yeah. You can do that.
The other way.
And
I'm wrong on my screen. So, but if it's right there, we're good. So,
hey, did you?
Now that we confuse all the
Did you have
viewers.
your ISIS tonight?
No, I had a piece of homemade creamy cheesecake with cherries on top. That's what I had.
I can't. I'm on a diet. I have to eat all this low-calorie stuff.
You asked.
I know.
Yeah. And I was.
Hey, I'm doing good though.
Okay.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
And
Vince is doing good. Vince is dropping weight.
I gotta get it done.
Yeah.
He's dropping weight. I gotta get it done.
And he's dropping weight. That's great.
So the pounds are coming off. I'm losing it, and I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
200's the goal.
I
gotta get to 200 or less.
You gotta fit into the seat on that car. So
I'm putting in nice
the
seats.
wide one, the Barca lounges.
Actually, I got these really, really nice. You know that company Scat?
Yes.
They make interior stuff.
Yes, they do.
I have these beautiful black velour buckets. They recline. They got an adjustable lumbar support.
Nice.
Yeah, and they have the slots for the shoulder harness
yeah.
and the lap belt. I mean that car had those Jazz plastic bucket seats with the cover for years, and I'm like, nah. At 60 years old, I need a real seat.
Yeah, so I was looking at their low back. Their low back muscle car seat. There's a name for it. I don't remember what it is, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And up at Ground Up today, there's another company because my buddy at the shop is looking at it for his GTO. It's 3 letters, and what they do is they're selling. You need the seat frame, and they'll sell you pre-made foam with a side bolster for the bottom and for the sides, and their covers fit the extra foam, and they look. It just looks like a stock seat that was in the gym, like it's on steroids all of a sudden. And we were sitting in it. It is freaking nice. They put velour inserts in it, if you like. Beautiful.
That's nice.
Beautiful. Yeah. So he's thinking about doing that for his car. But,
yeah. So I already have my 2 seats. I have some gauges. I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy I won that raffle, and I got myself a brand new race pack computer.
That's cool. That's good.
That thing's.
Congratulations. That's really good, though.
To start mounting all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Good deal.
Velour comes with it. Yeah, it has a lava lamp. That's going to mount right in the middle of the dashboard.
Yeah.
The kind that looks like the I Dream a Genie thing.
Oh, yeah. A bottle?
Yeah.
I come with a police light, too. You never know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to get rocking and rolling here and be able to use that car this summer.
Yeah.
I keep finding myself drifting towards the classifieds on Facebook. There's a lot of different classifieds because I've been trying to sell these engine blocks that I have that are like absolute white elephants.
What kind of block?
Nobody wants these. I have these DRC E3 Pro Stock blocks. I have 4 of them.
Right.
That through changes in design and heads and with the fuel injection and the whole 9 yards, the 3s have now become the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
Everybody's using 2s, and some of the guys are using DRCE 4s.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants the 3s.
What's the difference in
So I'm stuck with them. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
I haven't studied a 2 or a 4 to know what the difference is. I just know that these blocks require a ridiculous amount of machine work.
Oh, wow. Because
they come from GM. They're raw. There's no head bolt pattern, and there's no lifter bores.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's no
No
lifter
kidding.
bores. There's no head bolt pattern, and there's a whole bunch of extra weight on the outside of the block. That Victor told me that they actually have a program that after they're done machining the block, then they put the block on a lightning program and they pull like 15 or 20 pounds of dead metal out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about
Wow.
a raw casting. Jeez.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's and it's expensive to do the machine work.
Yeah.
So, it's got a 12-inch wide pan rail because you're going to be running a big arm in them, and it's going to be a dry sump. So that's something that's off-putting. The block it's useless to somebody unless somebody's going to specifically look to build a high horsepower 500-inch motor, Yeah. So I haven't been able to sell them, but I've posted it in so many of these for sale forums that are on Facebook. So now I find myself on these forums and I keep seeing these ads for trailers. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I buy? Who's got this deal? Who's got that deal? Do I have to go to Oklahoma? Do I have to go to Texas? There's a couple of guys in the Carolinas, and it's, there's all these different brands and there's all these different configurations. And I'm really just looking for something simple, like 28 or 30 feet.
Right.
I'd like to have the cabinets off on one side so I can put a golf cart all the way up.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at trailers. I don't even have a chassis in the car yet, but I'm looking at trailers.
I bought a used trailer a couple of years ago. I bought Brian Chin's old trailer from Street Outlaws.
Yeah.
Sure.
Price is right.
There's a lot of really good used ones that are up for sale. Like 1, 2 years old, 3 years old, and they're in perfect condition, So I'm looking around for something like that or a good deal on a new one. And I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I should have bought Dina's.
Well, you've got...
I think that thing was like 90 feet long. They have a huge toter home and a giant trailer.
Right.
It's like the Titanic coming down the road, but a lot of room.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of stuff in there, a lot of cars.
Unbelievable. Oh, she said it's still for sale. I thought the trailer was sold already.
I think Dean's going to expect a phone call from John tomorrow.
I wish I could afford that. A toter home is nice. That's nice to be able to go away with. You got room to lay out.
Right.
You don't have to go to the hotel. You could stay right at the track.
Yeah.
That's when it's fun.
Yeah.
When we raced with Gary, when Gary had the 55, he started out with a Suburban. That didn't work too well. Then he bought a motorhome, and we would just stay at the track. And let me tell you something. After the racing's done, that's when the fun starts. Everybody's barbecuing, everybody's drinking, running around, acting like little kids. But, you're at the drag strip overnight.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's like being at the Englishtown swap meet overnight.
Right. Yeah. I had a lot of fun when he had the motorhome. Those were good times.
Yeah.
It was great stuff.
Good deal.
How much for that trailer? She
Yeah.
sold the motorhome. Okay. So the trailer, they have a stacker.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Mm.
You put the car upstairs and you can put another car underneath. That's cool.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry to buy a 2-car. My trailer is 24
Yeah.
feet long. I'm sorry I didn't do a 2-car because, you know,
You need
24
a big trailer to do two
too
cars.
big for one car.
They're long. What are you towing it with?
I have to probably buy a vehicle to tow it then, you know. My pickup's only 2,500, so I probably need something a little bit, you know.
You're doing a bumper pull, right? At 24?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice.
It's
nice to have a dually diesel with a fifth wheel. That's the way to do it.
Sure.
That's a good idea too. Sure.
I've seen quite a few of the like the GMC top kicks, and there's a company that custom builds trucks like that. I think they're on a Volvo chassis, 4 doors. It's not something you're going to live in, but it's a tow rig. It's a really nice air ride suspension.
And it's
Allison transmission, and on a lot of them, it's got a really big back seat that actually drops down into like a bed or a couch. So it's comfortable.
Nice.
If there's like 2 of you, you know, and you're towing somewhere, somebody can sack out in the back there. But it's not like having a motorhome, you know, or a toter home. But it's heavy duty. You could tow anything with those things. I remember when Vinny Barone had a top kick. I had a good time with that thing. It's like a 10-speed. It was a GMC top kick with a big diesel engine in it, and he had like a 47-foot trailer.
Yeah,
and those were good times. You know, it's like driving a real truck. You got to shift it. It was great.
Yeah,
that was cool stuff. Brian says I need to buy an old tool truck.
We have at the shop. The guy I work for bought the old Snap-on truck. He bought it because it's got a lift gate, and he's got stuff to move. And you know, the tool guy put a motor in it just a couple of years ago. He doesn't go anywhere, and he got it relatively cheap. So yeah, if we ever got to move stuff, we use the Snap-on truck. We're driving around. I told him we should make it a food truck. We'll call it Snappy Snacks, and cut a window on the side. You know, we'll make a food truck out of it. Connote the corn dogs, and I don't know.
My friend Walter Zalek bought a Grumman bread truck.
Yeah, the old Grumman truck, sure.
He gutted it, and he put ramps in it, and he would put his Camaro. He had a 67 or 68 Camaro.
That's a good idea.
He got a set of car ramps that I think fell off a U-Haul.
Yeah. They do that sometimes. Put them on the road.
Yeah. And he had made mounts, and he would drop those at the tailgate, you know, open up the 2 doors, put the ramps in, and drive the Camaro or winch it right into the truck. He made it so it went uphill.
Beautiful.
To save space, and then slide the ramps in, shut the doors, get in, and drive away.
Excellent.
He had that for years. It was really nice.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, old bread truck.
I feel the same way, right?
Tired, yeah, I'm tired too.
It was a long day today.
I had enough today, yeah. Between going to the hospital and, you know, doctor's appointment for Lisa and stuff. And, you know, we wound up at the New York Cancer and Blood Center for Lisa today. And they're checking out a couple of things, so I'll keep you guys posted. Right. But exhausting day. The news wasn't bad, but, you know, they think it can be controlled with medication. So we have another follow-up appointment in 2 weeks. We'll keep our fingers crossed, say a prayer.
Very good.
And see what happens, you know. So thank you.
Awesome.
It was just weird because she was the only young person in there. Everyone was like 90 and hunched over in a walk, and here she walks in like, you know, looks healthy, youngest one in the place, you know, but you know, they found some stuff where her red blood cells are being attacked and broken down by something. So they got to figure out, you know, the reason, you know, why it's happening. So I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you, Dina. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm up since like 5:30 this morning. I'm just like ready to you know. So But you know what though, this gives me my this is good therapy, talking to some really good friends, and little distraction. You need that every
a
now
bent
and again.
individual. So. If we can help, you call us therapy.
Hey, they say laughter is the best medicine, right? I laughed a lot. My cheeks are hurting too.
Yeah,
so
it's
you guys done good. You guys done good.
All right, well, let's go say our prayers and turn in for the night, and we'll come back and do this again next week.
You got it.
Sounds like a plan. Can't wait to see you guys. And remember, next week is Von Hot Rod Valdez. The week after that is Bogey, and I'm going to check with Dina tomorrow, and she make it the 27th for Dina. So we'll close out the month, on a good note. And Dina, thank you again, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Excellent.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you for everything.
Good night.
Great talk, please. Good night. See you later.